Hey, what's up? My name is Fish on a Heater. This is Tournament Takeaway. How you doing? Good? Excellent. Glad to hear it. We take a look at battles in this series and just kind of break them down into little pieces and just work out some of the results of the decisions that we've made throughout the battle. Bit of a change of process this week. Normally when I'm deciding kind of which battles to look at in these videos, I take note of like all the battles that I have that have like a key decision at one particular moment in the battle, and just work out like what were the ramifications of that one decision. The problem with that is as I do more and more of these videos, there's going to be less and less of those moments that I come across. Like there's going to be less that kind of surprises me or piques my interest of, oh, what would have happened there. So what I've decided to do this week, and I really like it, is I have just taken the most recent battle that I've done. So by the time I started putting this video together, I took the most recent Silph Arena battle tournament matchup that I had, and just took a look at that, and my word, the amount of possibilities and variables that this battle had is incredible. So much that I'm not going to be able to definitively say, if I'd done this, I would have won, or if I'd done this, I would have lost. I'm not going to reveal which is which. I'm just going to have to say, like, oh, this is how, like, a bunch of different ways the battle could have played out. There's just too much that could have been different, too many different variables to think about. To be fair, that is a deliberate thing that the Silph Arena meta team have done for this month in particular. Last month, the Sorcerous Cup, kind of pretty big consensus that it was very lead dependent, very fast, over too quickly. Like if there were people saying that there wasn't much you could do if you lost the lead in that one. So the meta team kind of went about to create a meta which was the exact opposite of that for this month in the Sorcerous Cup. They wanted to create battles that had a lot of counterplay in them, battles that it didn't matter, or featured a lot of bulkier Pokemon. It didn't matter as much whether you lost the lead or won it. So good on them. They achieved exactly that, because this battle just has so many different points that could have wildly affected the outcome of the battle. Let's take a look at it. I'm gonna first just run it through without any major thought processes, and then we'll take a look at it a little closer in the second run through. So starting with an Azu versus a Wigglytuff, I build up energy for a Hydro Pump and then switch out to a Skuntank. They throw their Play Rough, but it doesn't turn out to be a Play Rough. I thought it would have been a Play Rough at the time, but they just went with Ice Beam to save a little bit of energy. Out comes Venusaur, and I throw a Flamethrower hoping to get that through, but they do opt to shield. And I lose that race to the next charge move, so they get the Frenzy Plant out. I hit them with the Crunch. They shield that as well, so now we are both out of shields. And they, of course, get to the Frenzy Plant before I can get to another Crunch. So down goes Skuntank. What do I bring out next? It's the Hypno. So that Confusion's gonna take out a huge chunk of the Hypno's health, so they get out of there. They bring out the Bronzong. I hit it with a Shadow Ball, and it's really annoying because Shadow Ball obviously does a lot of damage. Notification from one of the Silph Road Rangers there. Shadow Ball does a lot of damage, but doesn't take out a Bronzong, and none of Hypno's other moves do anything to a Bronzong. So Wigglytuff takes out Azu in one charm. I managed to come out and take out the rest of the Wigglytuff, but I've got 2 low health left, and the Venusaur comes out, finishes me off. So good effort, apparently, but not good enough. That was, by the way, Telekinesis is someone that I've played against once before. I did get him last time, but he got me this time. That was in Go Stadium, the very first tournament matchup I had for Season 3, Lavender Town. Gym leader tier. Sucks that I couldn't say elite tier, but that's alright. I'm happy to be, just happy to be there. So let's take a look at just all the different things that could have happened in that matchup. So we are going to start with the leads. The Azu versus the Wigglytuff. There we go. My thinking there was that Azu has pretty much neutral or better matchups against all of Telekinesis' team. Obviously, the Venusaur is going to be a hard counter. So my thinking was, if I, start with the Azu and run into a Venusaur counter, I want 2 Pokemon that can beat that Venusaur in the back. Because, say, I bring out my Azumarill, I swap that out for, say, the Hypno. They get their Venusaur out of there and bring in whatever they want to counter the Hypno. My Hypno eventually goes down, or at least is left with that much health left, and then if I don't have another Pokemon that will beat Venusaur, then, so say, if I've got Wigglytuff as my other Pokemon, then I'm in a world of hurt. I've got an Azu and a Wigglytuff to try and take on a Venusaur. I'm not coming back from that. Nowhere near that good. So to lead with the Azumarill, I needed to make that safe by having 2 counters. Didn't need to be hard counters, but needed to be counters to the Venusaur in the back. So the Wigglytuff is a pretty neutral matchup. I figured I was going to lose this matchup, so I built up enough energy for a Hydro Pump, and then I switched out to the Skuntank. Hopefully, my wish was for it to take too long to make a decision on what to do on their part. So I bring in the Skuntank, and I was relying on getting in some good poison jab damage before they figured out what to do, whether to switch out or keep going or whatever. They throw the charge move, which I thought was Play Rough, turned out to be Ice Beam, so they wanted to conserve that little bit extra energy. But they bring out Venusaur, and I went for the Flamethrower. Couple of things to look at. Whether or not to shield the Play Rough, the Play Rough. I'm happy with that decision. Play Rough. Have I got it here? I do. Hang on. Play Rough does 88 damage to a Skuntank. Now, Skuntank's only got about 160 odd health, and I was already, if we go back to that screen, I was already at about half health when that Venusaur came in, so that would have taken me essentially out, and I needed that Skuntank around, because that Bronzong, it's a great counter to the Bronzong, can still do the damage to the Wigglytuff, needed it against Frostlass. If they decided to bring out their Azu, that Poison Jab would have added up against the Azu. The Venusaur as well, it's going to do a lot of damage to that Venusaur. I wanted to keep that Skuntank around at least long enough to see what else I could get it in against. Now, the second thing was the flamethrower. Should I have gone straight for the flamethrower, or should I have gone to Crunch? If we go back here, let's see what we got. Skuntank versus Venusaur. So, since I had one shield and they had two left, if we decided to expend both of our shields, they still would have won. But what would have happened is I could have gotten to my second Crunch before they got to their Frenzy Plant. We saw there in that video that we just missed out on getting that second Crunch off. So if we had gone for the Crunch first, we would have been able to get to that second Crunch. Not only that, here's where I kind of went down my biggest rabbit hole, I guess, because let's change screens. Here we go. So if I go straight Crunch, right? Let's just say they decide not to shield that one. I am winning, even if I don't use the shield myself, right? Oh no, sorry, I am losing. What am I talking about? Okay, so yeah, okay. If they shield that first Crunch, which is what they did, they shielded the first charge move. Even if they do that, I'm still getting to another Crunch, which is doing a lot of damage. That leaves them with 13 health left, right? So then, what happens after that? I can bring in my Hypno, which can just farm that thing down. Even if it does get hit by the Frenzy Plant here, I can still get rid of that in... That's literally one Confusion. That's all it takes, right? So then, say they bring out their Wigglytuff again. I am able to use the Thunder Punch, get their last shield, and then by the time Hypno goes down, Wigglytuff has 14 health left. And then out comes Azumarill, who has a whole bunch of energy and a score to settle. So, at that point, Azu can continue to farm down the Wigglytuff the rest of the way, and suddenly it's got 99 energy to take on whatever's in the back. We know it's not going to be a Venusaur because that's already done. So, no matter what else is there, I'm pretty sure, I didn't actually look at this particular part, but with 99 energy, I could actually take out anything else that they could have had in the back. In this case, it was the Bronzong, and hit him with the Hydro Pump. In this scenario, I still had a shield left. And wipe him out with the Ice Beam. So that was a very, very long-winded kind of scennario that built up from me throwing Crunch instead of Flamethrower. Two Crunches will take out a Venusaur, and there's two kind of advantages of just going straight Crunch. Number one is if they shield the first one, they've got to make a decision, am I going to shield the second one as well, or am I going to take a heap of damage? Because Crunch will do a heap of damage to that. The second advantage is that energy conservation. I could have gotten to another charge move before they got to their Frenzy Plant if I'd just gone straight Crunch. Let's get back to the battle. Here we go. Alright, so now we're both out of shields. Here's a big one. I had the option there. What do I bring out? The Hypno or the Azumarill? Now, my thinking, I guess, was just that I wanted to be able to conserve that energy from Azu for whatever might be in the back. Again, if I know that Venusaur's out of the way, then Azu with that much energy can cause a lot of damage. But what I should have realized at the time was that Venusaur was not at enough energy for another Frenzy Plant, and an Ice Beam from Azu is going to faint it. So if I'd come out straight away with the Azu, I could have fired that Ice Beam immediately, got rid of that Venusaur, and I've got a full health Hypno, an untouched Hypno, a virgin Hypno, in the back there, ready to go. And the Azu would still have half of its health and a decent chunk of energy as well. So that is a big one. Like, just come out with the Azu straight away, hit it with the Ice Beam, and faint it. But, as played, we've got the Venusaur, and full credit to Telekinesis recognizing that they needed to get out of there. Then Ranger Vokarai chips in, and oh geez, no, that message kind of distracts us from a very important moment. And let's bring it back a little more. Let's do that again. That goes way too fast. Okay, so that's 4 confusions, I think, right? I'm thinking it has... I didn't know it had Flash Cannon here at the time. I still thought it was Bulldoze. So, obviously, 4 confusions isn't enough for either of those moves, right? And then I let it get in 2 more confusions before bringing out that Azu. I had that idea of, like, of bringing out the Azu to faint the rest of the Bronzong. But I let it get in 2 more confusions worth of energy. I've just got to do that straight away. Like, that's just let Telekinesis in. That's kind of... If I'd done it immediately, then there would have been nothing he could have done about it. But because he had a chance to build up more energy, and when I switched in, I was still hesitant on whether that Ice Beam could take out the Bronzong. Of course, at that range, in the red, the Ice Beam is going to take out the Bronzong, but I wasn't sure, so I hesitated for another turn as well. And that allowed time for them to react and throw the Flash Cannon first. Show it again and put it at normal speed so you can see how long it takes me. Watch when I switch... watch when I switch out the Azu. That took like a whole other turn before I reacted, and that gave them time to throw that Flash Cannon. And then from there, that's it. There's not much. That that last little decision was GG's. And well done to Best Buddy Venusaur there for finishing it off. And well done to the Telekinesis too. Very well played. So that's it for this week. I hope that helped. I'll see you next week, where you can join me, study another battle with me. Follow the channel, subscribe, and also check out my Twitch channel. I stream at the moment every Thursday and Sunday, obviously subject to change. All those links are there, including the link to the article that the Arena Meta team came out with. Build that ranking, and I'll see you next time.